Back with another video, man. Y'all know who it is. Don't need no introduction once again. Hey, we got another Zack D Films compilation. Hey, we're gonna see how worse it can get, bro. Yeah, you
Coco
can't shit
sat
get
with her
worse, bro.
caretaker, slowly shaping her hands into signs, learning words. Then, one day, she signed something new. She wanted a cat. So they brought her a tiny gray kitten. The moment she saw him,
Hey, so y'all still think one gorilla will beat 100 men, bro? Y'all still think that? Come
she
on.
held him gently to
That shit
her
was cap. I ain't
chest,
gonna lie.
cradling him like a baby. And using sign language, she named him All Ball. She brushed his fur, carried him around her room, and signed over and over, Coco Love Ball. But one morning, the kitten slipped outside and it was hit by a car. When they broke the news to the gorilla, she mourned it with loud wails. And when they asked her about the cat later, she only signed one single word, cry. He climbed onto the table by the railing, and his friends pulled him back down. But when he did it again, people just filmed him as he jumped overboard. You see, he was at his graduation party when he was given the dare. But after someone threw him a lifesaver,
Hey, that boy gotta be drinking too. That boy drunk. I ain't gonna lie.
he
In a way, I'm
swam
jumping over
away,
that bitch.
disappearing into the ocean. Now, the ship was in an area usually filled with aggressive sharks, and when the video of him jumping was posted online, people started to notice a dark, blurry shape near him. The crew searched for 2 days, but he was never found. The doctor said he had a deadly disease, so he started chemo and weekly blood transfusions. And as the years passed, the treatment made him lose all his energy. He was stuck in his parents' basement while he prepared them for his death. But years later, another doctor got suspicious when he took the man's blood. And soon, the truth was confirmed. He never had the disease to begin with. The first doctor would
Bruh. Hey, they killed this. They killed this nigga, bro. You can't tell me nothing, bro. They killed him, bro. Damn, bro.
lie to patients, charging them for treatments they didn't actually need. He was eventually fired, and the man stopped chemo, returning to a normal life.
Never mind. He good. Okay, bro. They were scamming, trying to get money and shit.
He inhaled the toy traffic cone when he was 7 years old, and for 40 years, he forgot about it. But as he grew older, he started to cough. Doctors noticed his right lung was getting stiff, and when they shone a light down his airways, they found a suspicious shadow. They told him he had a serious tumor and operated quickly, but instead, they found the toy traffic cone. And after removing it, the man's cough went away. He lowered the chunk of meat straight into a man's open stomach.
Bro, come on, what the hell? How he do that?
And inside, the acid began softening and breaking the meat apart. You see, years earlier, a fur trader had survived a gunshot wound, but the bullets left a hole in his stomach that would never close. Now, back then, people thought the stomach crushed food up like a
Damn, what he got hit with? A 50 cal?
grinder, and the surgeon realized he could use this hole to figure out how the stomach actually worked. So he dropped meat and vegetables inside, then pulled them back out to see how far they broke down. Then he drained stomach acid with a siphon and tested it in glass vials. And his experiments proved that digestion was powered by stomach acid, not by grinding food. He was collecting shellfish when a 10-foot shark came out of nowhere and clamped its jaw around his head. And soon he was halfway down the shark's throat. But he was wearing a lead-lined vest, stopping the creature from biting him in two. As the shark struggled to swallow him, the man reached up and jabbed it right in the eye with a chisel. This forced it to let go just long enough for...
Bro, how did he know? How did he know like where the eye was if its upper half of his body was inside the shark?
him to wriggle out and swim to the surface. She rolled down the window, and the wind whipped her long hair into the steering wheel, wrapping the strands tight around the spokes.
Nah, that's an old
She
school
tried to
rule,
yank
bro.
it free, but as she pulled her head, the strands of hair made the wheel turn, and the car moved into the other lane, right into oncoming traffic. The car hit another head-on. She was rushed to the hospital, but ended up dead. He put on the device, and a small camera on the front recorded what he looked at. That video was sent into the glasses, which had 2 tiny screens, one for each eye. These screens increased the contrast and made the
Ray-Ban.
image sharper, making smaller details become bigger. You see, he was born with a disease that slowly destroyed the cells that let light in. So light and dark blended together, turning everything into a gray blur. And by the time he was 18, he was legally blind. But when he put on this device, it separated light from dark, and he was able to see his wife and kids for the very first time. The base is bolted into the ceiling, a long wire is hung down, and a heavy ball is attached to the bottom. When you pull the ball to the side and let go, it swings back and forth in a line. But Earth is always slowly turning, and everything attached to it, the walls, the ceiling, and the mount holding the pendulum, all turn with the planet. But the ball doesn't move with the room. So, as Earth slowly spins underneath, the floor slides under the ball's straight line, making the swing path look like it's twisting around the room. Meaning it's not the ball that's rotating, it's the Earth turning beneath it. If you screw a handle onto each side of a bicycle wheel and wrap a string around your hand before connecting it to the handle, it'll just drop down when you let go of it. But if you spin the wheel really fast, the speed keeps it going in one direction, while the spinning stops gravity from pulling it down immediately. And because the rope and gravity tug at the wheel in different directions, instead of tipping over, the wheel would twist to one side. And for a while, it would balance itself in midair, looking like it's defying gravity. The bee puked
Hey, I might need to try that. I ain't gonna lie. That shit cool.
up the nectar into another bee's mouth, which vomits it into the hive. You see, this nectar is first collected from a flower, where the bee sucks it up and stores
Hey, if you made it this far to the video, man,
it
comment
in
B
a special
down
stomach.
below.
Next, it starts to break the nectar down,
Thank you.
splitting the sugars into separate parts to keep it fresh, before throwing it up over and over again to evaporate some of the water while keeping the sugars. When it gets back to the hive, it vomits it into a receiver bee's mouth, and that bee spits it into a wax cell. Then a group of them fan it out with their wings to evaporate even more water until the sugars are finally harvested as honey. They put marbles in a bowl before pouring Campbell's soup on top. Now, the liquid slid between the marbles, but the
What? Bro, who thinks of this shit, bro? Who thinks it? Zack, come
meat
on,
and
bro. Who thinks of
vegetables
this
sat
shit,
on
man?
top of them, making the soup look thicker than it really was. They were ordered to stop by the government, and they enforced rules requiring all companies to stop staging and instead show the real product. But some companies still paint grill marks on their meat or use toothpicks to hold burgers together, pushing the line without technically breaking it. If you
Oh yeah, they still do that. They still
get
do
on
shit
your
like
friend's
that,
shoulders, put on a trench coat, and try to buy one movie ticket, well, they'll obviously know what you're up to. You see, your weight would make your friend wobble as he walks, and since you still have a child's face, they'll know you're not an adult.
No way.
Instead, you would need to build a special frame that would hold you up, taking the weight off your friend's shoulders, and a rigid pole would connect you to a harness connected to his hips. Mechanical leg braces would help lift your weight, allowing him to walk straight. And a hyper-real latex mask would change your face, making you look old enough to match the height.
If y'all want to sneak into the movie, bro, they all
The
go.
beetle rolls its poop ball
Y'all
in a
go right there.
perfectly straight line in the dark. And you might think this is because it has night vision, but it's actually not even looking at where it's going. You see, once the ball is packed, the beetle climbs on top, spins around, and looks up. Now, its eyes are too weak to really see anything in the sky, but the glowing band of the Milky Way is so bright, the beetle can see it against the dark night sky. So it lines itself up with this glowing band and rolls straight ahead, stopping occasionally to make sure that it's still lined up. And when scientists blocked the beetles from seeing the stars, almost immediately they began wandering in circles. But under a clear night sky, they rolled straight ahead, using the galaxy as a map. They would push the horizontal bars on the shaft to turn it, which twisted the thick ropes around the base and lifted the cage off the ground as the lion slowly traveled up the chute. And once it reached the top, they would pull out a wooden beam holding up the secret trapdoor above. This opened the cage into a sunny arena, which made it look like the lion had appeared out of nowhere as it prepared to fight for its life in the Colosseum.
Hey, that's gonna be all for this video, man. If you did enjoy the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hey, until next time, we out.
Wow. I know who Third Eye Prince is now.